What's happening, my people? So, you know I do this weekly. I know a lot of people don't watch them, but this is something that I'm passionate about, that I like to continue to do on the channel. And for the few that people, other people that do watch, I appreciate y'all, man. So this your boy Smooth. So this is Fear the Walking Dead. This is season 6, episode 13. This one is entitled JD. And pretty much, why is it JD? John Dory, June Dory, John Dory Sr. We'll get into that later on. So this episode starts off, Morgan and June is fighting. That is very, it caught me off guard. Because Morgan isn't necessarily the most verbal person and stuff. And then he kind of like holds things close to his chest. But he's going through a tough time. He's dealing with loss right now. And he wants to blame somebody. He wants to blame somebody, man. And June is a prime suspect. He blames her for her actions with John. If you would have did what John wanted us to do, I would have never had to oust you. So then, in that sense, I would have never had to chase you down, and you would have been here to try to deliver this baby. So that is how he's trying to rationalize it, even though the baby would have died anyway, because for some reason the baby inherited or absorbed all the radiation. So the baby did save the mother's life, but I know she would have rathered it the other way. I know she would have rathered to have the radiation and the baby live, but it didn't happen that way. So June has great regret of her own and stuff, man, and she still, is she dealing with the loss of John? She's kind of putting it off to the side. So she takes off on her own, and she's trying to find something to take the place of this, something to occupy her mind. And so she goes out to look for evidence or clues as far as to this new group. And on the way, Dwight ends up following her, and Sherry does as well. And this is good in the sense of Dwight and Sherry following them, because it is going to be good for their relationship whenever pieces come together and stuff. We'll get to that later. But in doing this, they trying to find clues to find this group. They come across this sniper character, and he's shooting at them and stuff. So they kind of get scattered. June finds this RV. She breaks her way into the RV, and it's for this gentleman that is trying to snipe him off. And she sees a bunch of clues and stuff, like somebody has been doing some investigative work as far as to this Teddy character. And this dude right here, he gets the jump on her, and he's like, okay, you're gonna bring me to where your group is for me to know that you are not with them, and we're gonna get this settled. So he puts her in the RV, so they're driving and stuff, and they're talking, they're going back and forth and whatnot. She gets the jump on him. She starts swerving and stuff. He falls over. She pulls her gun out on him. On the gun, it says JD. So he's looking. He's like, wait up. Where did you get that from? How did you know about this gun? Because that's my gun. And we get into a lot of their backstory and stuff. But before that, well, we find out that's John's father. That's John's father. And he doesn't even ask too much about John, because was a sheriff, a detective, or whatever. So he's like, I've been in this long enough to know you got 2 rings and this and that, you have his guns and stuff. I know he's dead. So it's sad. They want to continue going on their trip, but she ran over a walker. It tore up the transmission and all that. So that messes up their trek. Sherry, and then on their trek, where they're going to the cabin. They're going towards the cabin. That is where Virginia's ranger is, and he has the other gun. and he might have whereabouts as to where Teddy might be. So that is why they're going towards there. Sherry, on the other hand, she takes off on the horse, man. She just running the horse into the ground. The budget must have been very short because we don't even see her fall or the horse fall or anything. All we see is the horse laying on the ground. And so, they failed. They didn't show the fall or anything. It was very cheap on their part. But, so they failed. The horse dying. That was a cold part, man. She ran the horse into the ground. Then they're like, we're going to have to put the... She, like, you ain't got no compassion for the animal or something. I'm like, white people don't do that. White people don't do that. They should try to, can I get them CPR or something? But she just killed the horse and whatnot. And I gotta leave, Dwight. I'm going to kill Negan. Like, okay, what is that gonna do? What is that gonna do for your sanity and stuff? Like, you needed to kill Virginia. Now you need to kill Negan. Like, you need to do this. Like, you just want to kill somebody. Like, what is that gonna do? What is that gonna do? But he's like, okay, I'll help you if that's what you want to do. Like, I want to be with you and stuff. But if you want to go to Virginia and you have things to deal with, like, all right. We get back to John in June, and they go back to the old store and stuff. So he starts telling the old stories about John, and they like go back and forth with their stories of John. And this episode is helping John live on in our minds and spirits and hearts and everything. So it's good to remember him in a good manner. We see why he left John. It's not because like he didn't love John or whatever. He was going through a lot. In this Teddy case, it took a lot out of him. It kind of drove him mad. And he didn't want to be like that around John. And John was he had so much light in him. He didn't want to take that away from John. So that is why he left. And he does the same thing to June. He suckers her into go into a room for him to leave her. It's like, this is the closest thing he has to family, so I gotta leave her. I don't want to like hurt her in a way or whatever. And they both are going about their loss for John in different ways, and she's kind of like trying to forget it as well. But he gets back to the ranger station and stuff. He fights the ranger. He does get the drop on him. He's beating the ranger up or whatever. But then he sees John's grave, and so he pauses. He gets shot. The ranger's about to finish him off, but they kill the ranger. June ends up saving him. She had put a cache of supplies away to save John. It didn't help save John, but it helped save John, the father. So she saves him, and then is the most beautiful part of the episode. They both end up like having their last getting some relief of John or whatever. He left a letter, and she finally reads the letter and stuff, and it shows how much love he had for June and how he forgave his father. So that is kind of ironic because like the father was there and stuff. I wish John would have lived to see his father. Damn, that was a missed opportunity. But it looked like he's going to kind of take John's spot and be another like sharpshooter character and stuff. Like, so that is cool. But in that, I said about like Dwight and Sherry coming along on this journey, and Sherry sees how that quest for try to get Teddy, how that affected John Sr. And she's like, I don't want that for my life. I want to be with you, Dwight. So they finally are going to be together. It looks like it. So June brings John Sr. back to the civilization or whatever. And Morgan is like, oh, that's John Sr.? Oh my God. Like, and he knows a lot about Teddy. He's been following him for 30, 40 years. So this will be like their manner of finding an edge against Teddy. So that is going to be their new foe. John Sr. might be an upper hand on him or just be another help. But it's a pretty good episode, man. Like Morgan and June finally make amends and stuff. I enjoyed this episode. Man. That's my thoughts. Like this episode, the rating of it, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. I give it an 8.5 out of 10, man. I really enjoyed it, man. This new character, it doesn't replace John, but it's a good stepping stone. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe to be the greatest, most hated man. Holla at your boy. Peace.